Welcome to Life Words Day by Day. We're in the Old Testament book of 2 Samuel, and we want to look at some stuff that's happening in chapter 2. In chapter 2, Abner is the one making all the moves. Ishbosheth is the king of Israel, but he's a puppet king with Abner pulling the strings. And in similar fashion, Abner is the one pulling the strings in this opening scene in chapter 2. Abner leads his men from their home location, Mahanaim, to the pool of Gibeon. And what's important to know is the distance that they travel. It's approximately 50 to 55 miles as the crow flies, which is a blatant act of aggression against David's men and against David's reign as the king of Judah. So here we have before us a man who opposes God's king and God's kingdom in Abner. Here we have a man who brashly and defiantly comes as far as he can come southward to the border of Judah and just glares over that border to the men of David. This is not so that Abner can present his men to David as fellow soldiers ready to fight in David's army against the Philistines. No, this is an act of provocation on Abner's part. He was getting nose to nose, as close as he could get, and he was poking his finger in the proverbial chest of David's forces. Not to be intimidated, you have Joab leading David's men to meet Abner's forces on the other side of the pool of Gibeon to let them know that they would not be pushed around. Now take special note of this. Abner is the aggressor, the one showing force. And the mission of Joab is one of a defensive posture. Joab was drawing a line in the sand and he was saying, "We will defend what is ours." And the two armies are face to face, and since Abner is the aggressor, he makes a suggestion. He says, let's have a representative duel, my best 12 against your best 12. So Abner and Joab send 12 young men to represent each side. Someone hollers out, "Fight!" and they grapple against one another, stabbing each other relentlessly until they all fall to the ground while the life goes out of each of them. 24 men dead. And here's the question I want to be on your heart and in your mind as we continue to travel this text over the next few days. Is there any opposition, any resistance in your life, in your heart, towards the king or the kingdom of God? Is there any pride that swells up in your heart that nudges you towards seeking or gaining power or status over someone else? Is there a leaven of pride hidden in your life that you know is there, but you refuse to remove because the thought of being praised is more desirable than the thought of having to serve? Consider these things as you pray today, and also include this in your prayer, that you would remember our Creative Access missionaries in India. And also remember the Aymara Life Word broadcast that's heard throughout Peru and Bolivia.